right, so we're going to keep working on two-step equations. The difference with this section is that there is a negative in front of the x here. We're still going to do them the same way. The first thing you're always doing is you always go through and move the number first. So in this case, I want to take this -5 and move it over to the other side. I do that by adding 5 to both sides. When I do that, I bring my negative x down, and I'm left with negative x is equal to 12. Now be really careful with this because this is not your final answer. Whenever you have your answer for solving a variable, the coefficient, meaning that the number in front of x must be a +1. And in this case, it's understood to be a -1. So what I need to do is I need to divide both sides by that -1. And then I'm left with x is equal to my -12. Now this takes a couple of different forms. The next example I want to do, probably getting used to the best pattern right now. Right now my variable is on the right hand side. Still want to approach this the same way. I look at the right hand side. That's where my x is. My other value here is a -4. So I need to take this -4 and move it to the other side. I do that by adding 4 to both sides. Then I have -3 plus 4, which is my +7, is equal to -x. And again, I cannot leave that negative in front of the variable when I'm solving for it. It must be a coefficient of +1. So that tells me that I must divide both sides by a -1. And my final answer is x is equal to -7. In the last one I have here, I do have a coefficient that's a fraction. So let's go through, and again, first, let's take it slow. First, we're going to go ahead and move my number, which is my 8. I move my number over to the other side by doing the opposite. So I subtract 8 on both sides. Then I am left with x over 4 is equal to -3. Now, let's look at the coefficients in front of x. This is understood to be 1 over 4. So what I do is I look at this as a fraction. I look at this as 1/4. And I take the reciprocal of that. And what that means is I flip it. So I want to multiply both sides by 4 over 1. And that's because 4 times 1, 1 times 4 is both the same thing. That actually leaves me with 4 over 4x, and 4 over 4 is the same thing as 1x is equal to, and then I just multiply my -3 times my 4 to get a -12. And this one will be my final answer.